Cash on the sidelines. I'll wait as long as it may take.
Good morning, outliers. Tell you what, cash on the sidelines was the right call. Cash on the sidelines was definitely the right call. That is one of the reasons, right? As you saw yesterday at the huge sell-off, right? There are times when the market clicks and trading is effortless, but to have that expectation of everything all the time is always going to be effortless is futile. You know it's not going to work like that, right? You know it's not going to work like that. It's think of it this way, right? Let's say you played sports. Let's say you played Texas high school football, like your friend Chris did, right? I played center. I was academic All-State and academic All-American, in fact. And I went and talked to a few colleges. And when I arrived at the colleges, I'm 5'11". At that time, I was probably around 185-ish, which is really funny to think about. I went from 185 and then ballooned up to 250. Probably by 2022, I was at 250. And now I'm down at like 180. Such a crazy thought. Anyways, went on the campus, talked to those players, and my competition was at least 6 inches taller than me and at least 100 pounds heavier than me. And I'm like, no way. I got no chance. I got no chance. So that's why I went into band, and that's where I met my wife. Now, where I was going with that is there are teams that maybe you played against that were so easy. There were teams that you played against and you're like, man, I had no idea it was going to be this easy, right? Then there are teams you played against, you're like, man, that was a struggle. Then there are teams you played against and you got your butt handed to you, right? The market's no different. There are times when things are easy and effortless, and that's what everybody wants out of the market. And I get that. But unfortunately, you don't get to tell the market which game you're going into. But what you can do is pay attention and then use that as part of your trading plan, right? Does that make sense? If that makes sense, put a thumbs up in the chat. Put a thumbs up in the chat, if that makes sense. All right, so great to see everybody. Great to see Stocky Locky, now an OVTLYR graduate. Now an OVTLYR University graduate. Good to see you, my friend. Today's episode is my court-appointed community service, and I need you to help me with this community service by putting your questions. Any question is on the table. Doesn't mean I'm going to answer it, but any questions are on the table. And the way that we can see those questions, because Birdie is here live. Birdie, you want to pop in and say hi like you did last week? Birdie is here live helping me out. He's looking for the hashtag Qs. If you don't put a hashtag Q, Birdie's not going to see it. All right, we got 2 editors now. We got Birdie on shift here. This is great. When's Charlie class? I don't know yet, but I know for sure Cam, who I saw is also here right now. Cam is going to be our first student. I've already reserved him a spot because he definitely deserves it. Okay, so also new merch drop. Did y'all see the new merch drop? Holy moly, the new merch drop is awesome. So this was a request from one of our outliers to have like an all over print type thing, and they just dropped. So down below every single video is our OVTLYR merch store link. Just click any of those links and it'll get you to here. We now have a whole section for OVTLYR all over. This dude is obviously our #1 fan. Look at it with like a big old smile. He loves OVTLYR so much. Definitely not, you know, CGI generator or whatever, right? These shirts are so sick. And then we got them on mugs, and we got it on backpacks, and we got it on hoodies, and then we got it on button-down shirts. This is my absolute #1 go-to shirt in general in life. The short sleeve button-down shirts. Look at this pattern. Is that pattern not so cool? I am super stoked with how this came out. This was Rude. She did an amazing job. She did an amazing job. I am going to be ordering probably this light blue shirt today and this navy blue shirt today as well. I want to see the sizing before I commit to buying all of them, because I'm going to buy all of them. And I want you to also check them out as well. I'm also wearing a little bit of 80 Delta merch. And here's the deal. Everything in the shop, I've said this before, and I 100% mean this. Everything in the shop is priced at the actual lowest price that the vendor would allow us, fourth wall. Now, we aren't trying to make money on merch. The goal here is to give away as much merch as possible, right? That's why you see me give away merch twice a week, right? Twice a week we're giving away merch. So you can represent OVTLYR in the best way possible. It is priced at the absolute lowest price, which is cost plus 20%. We can't go any lower than that. They wouldn't let us. Save 10% on your total order, which makes the total price cost plus 8%. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So again, we are not trying to make any money on merch. We're just trying to cover the cost here. And as you know, I give away as much as I possibly can. So now I stalled a little bit to give y'all some time to put in your questions. Evil plan worked flawlessly. Moo-hoo-hoo, ha ha ha. Okay. I think we're going to start talking about this big nasty sell-off yesterday, because that's going to be on everyone's radar for today. And of course, everybody wants an answer to why. Right? Everybody, why did everything go down so bad yesterday? I don't know. Don't care. You've probably never come across a person who cares less about the news than me. But Chris, how can you put all $4 you ever made in the market with risk and you don't even know why? What do I need to know? Price is going up. I'm interested. Price not go up. Right? Caveman style, right? Price go up, I buy. Greed go up, I buy. Price go down, I sell. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Okay. So let me think of a good hook. Real quick. Okay. I got one. This could be the beginning of the end. What you're witnessing right now could be the very first start of the crash of a lifetime. Kind of scary to think about, right? But what I want to show you real quick is the OVTLYR trend template. Now, what's fun about this is that you can actually see the direction of the market at any point in time. And every single crash in the history of time has started the exact same way. I'm going to show you that 3-step test that takes you 5 seconds. And then we're going to answer as many questions as possible, because today is Ask Me Anything Friday. And so first, let's start with this. We just got a bearish cross down on the S&P 500. The 10 went under the 20, price went under the 50. Now, I haven't been in the market. I've been in SGov. SGov is basically my way to sit in cash. It is a ETF that pays you, or I should rephrase that. It is currently paying about 4.3% APY right now, which is roughly half the return of the market on average, 8 to 10% per year, with pretty much no risk, which is great. So we have been chopping sideways since October, right? We've crashed down to levels not seen since October 27th, okay? So while it feels like the whole world is ending, truthfully, we've just been going sideways. Volatile sideways, but still sideways. Now, the 3-step test I want to show you real quick is called the OVTLYR trend template. It's when the 10 is over the 20 and price is over the 50. Your 10 EMA, 20 EMA, and 50 EMA. And this works on all time frames. Watch this. I'm going to switch to the 5-minute chart. Look, I can see that it's trending down. So easy, right? And we can go, how far back do we need to go? And we can see that it's trending up. That's on the 5-minute chart. I can change it to the weekly chart. And then resize. There we go. And you can see the 10 over the 20, price over 50. And it always works every time because it's just math. I don't need any sort of YouTube disclaimer on this, right? You've heard me say it before, because it is a fact. It is a mathematical fact that this must occur. This must occur if price is trending up, and it must occur if price is trending down. Now, where we're going with this is that every crash in the history of time was preceded by, meaning it happened before the big, nasty, ugly, scary crash, right? Let me show you a couple examples. Let's go to COVID crash, 2020, right? Let's go to 2020. Right, what happened? The 10 went under the 20, price went under the 50 on February 24th. And then it fell 35%, right? And if you were the guy trying to buy the dip, if you were the guy who's like, oh, here we go, I'm going to buy that dip, right? How long did it take to get back to break even? Basically, 105 days from February to June on this one candle, but realistically, the market didn't recover at that point. It was really over here to July. So from February to July, just to get back to break even. Or you could have bought when the trend reversed right here. Your 10 was over the 20, price went over the 50, and then you would have made how much between here and there? 15%. So if you're the guy who's trying to buy the dip, you just got beaten in your account for 5 months before you got back to break even. But the smart investor who uses the outlier trend template was already up 15% and completely sidestepped this drawdown right here. Okay, sure, Chris. Sure, Chris. But what about in 2000, right? 2000 was pretty awful. No. Let's go back to 2008 first. 2008 was pretty awful, right? Yeah, it was. It certainly was. Look at this, right? That's some big nasty moves down. Notice every time the big nasty move down started, what happened? The 10 went under the 20, price went under the 50. Now, again, there were times where it popped back up and you actually could have made a buck or lost a buck in these little pop-ups right here, but then it went down and it went down and it went down even more. And again, let's measure this out. Let's say the last time that it crossed down was right here. All right. Let's say that was June of 2008. And when the first time it crossed over was here. All right. First time it crossed over, it was all the way down here. So if you're trying to buy the dip, because yeah, it definitely did dip down. It dipped by 12% rounding to 12% here. And then it dipped another 50% from that point. So the cumulative loss was down at 56%, which is absolutely bonkers. And then how long would it have taken you to get back to break even? Let's see. Remove this. And remove this. How long would it have taken you to get back to break even if you bought the dip right here? Let's see. I have no idea. Okay. So that was from June of 2008 to March of 2012. So let's say 4 calendar years to get back to break even. Whereas the smart investor, the one who understands trading with the trend, says, you know what? I don't want to buy the dip because I don't know how far down it's going to dip. I have no idea how far down it's going to dip. Using the same logic, if you buy the rip, you don't know how high it's going to rip. So you bought it here, and by the time that person 4 years later gets to break even, you're already up 71%. I hope that this conclusively proves to you that A, you can see the direction of the market. I can't show you I can't show you duration. And I can't show you magnitude, but I can show you direction all day, my friends. All day. And you just ride that for as long as it takes. Now, again, there are times like today where it's really choppy and it's frustrating. And I get it. Right? But rather than fighting it, you can absolutely step aside, let the market do what it's going to do without you, maybe sit in cash and earn a few points of interest, and then you can get right back in. And you can have potentially enormous gains while the other investors, while the novices out there are just hoping and praying they can get back to break even. And maybe it'll take them 4 years, but not you, right? You are an outlier. You are a professional investor, just like myself. And I'm competing in the US Investing Championship. Maybe you are as well. And this is definitely going to be on my radar this year. All right. So let me answer as many questions as possible. I hope that was useful. Let's see. So are there any discount codes for new outlier memberships? You know what? Actually, that's a really great question. If you have a family member who's looking to join, I would encourage you to go down here to the settings button and go to the referral dashboard. That's actually going to pop out a specific link for you that you can give to your family member. And when they sign up, you earn a affiliate commission on it. That's what it's called. So therefore, we don't have a discount code because at $200, I don't know if you guys ever realize this, at 82 cents a day, $299 a year, compared to the monthly price, that saves 64%. You're getting 7.5 months for free. You get 7.5 months for free by going with the annual pass versus the monthly pass. I feel like that's a good deal. So we don't offer any discount codes on the annual pass because you're already saving so much. But I would encourage you and everyone to go down here, get the referral dashboard link. That way you can start earning a little bit of kickback, if you want to think of it, for helping us spread the word. Okay. Can you explain convexity and an asymmetrical edge? Darren Portnoy. Big words of the day. I don't know if I can. I have to go to ChatGPT to make sure I get the right definition of convexity. You know what? Why don't we just do it together? Can you explain convexity? By the way, I'm going to send you, Darren, a $4,000 invoice for this because you could have done this yourself. Can you explain convexity and asymmetrical? I don't know how to spell it. Edge. Let's see if it actually picks that up because I spelled that so wrong. Absolutely. Let's break this down. Convexity describes a payoff structure where your upside accelerates faster than your downside gains. Oh, look at that. I drew a little call option. You risk a little, but if you're right, you can make a lot. And the payoff curve bends in your favor. Okay. Classic convex, a long call option. Venture capital. Okay, that's a great example, right? Let's say you're a venture capitalist. You invest in companies. Some of the companies are going to make bazillions of dollars. Some of them are going to go to zero, right? One company could be worth 1,000 times what you invested into it. Trend following, perfect example. An asymptotic edge. There you go. Look at how poorly I spelled that. ASEMYCPTIRAL. There you go. There you go. Very proud of that. Expected reward meaningfully exceeds expected risk. That's where we're at, right? Expected reward meaningfully exceeds expected risk. So with a long call option, let's go over here real quick. Long call option. When we look at a long call option, right, the more it works for you, right? There's your convexity and asymmetrical edge, right? You only have limited losses, period, full stop. If the stock goes to zero, the only amount that you lose is what you paid for it. If the stock goes to infinity, your gains on a percentage basis are tremendously higher. Okay, let's keep going here. KN says, when you say wait 5 or 7 days, like for example, a gap and crap, is that a day or a day or regular trading day? Okay. I understand where you're going here. So, who gap and cap gapped? Who gapped recently? I want to look at one. I think Palantir had a gap recently. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So there were some geniuses who, in the midst of this downtrend, were like, "Oh, Palantir earnings are coming up. You got to buy it. You got to buy it, right?" So it closed here, opened here. So it had a 6% gap up. No, it opened up here. It had a 11% gap that day. All right. Very exciting stuff. However, within one calendar day, one trading day, because that's what we're looking for, within one trading day, it already violated it. It's over. It's over. There was another one, VRT. This one we've been talking about. Yeah. Okay. This is a great example, right? Gapped up bigly from the close to the open. It went up 16%. There's your gap. What I consider gap and craps is you put a line at the bottom or a note or whatever you want at the bottom of the wick of the gap candle. Then you're waiting for up to 3 days. If within 3 days it closes underneath this line, so let's just imagine that it closed right here in the next 3 days, that is a gap and crap. That is a closing signal. That is a, look, this gap was great, but it's not going to last. You got to get out of the way before it steals your money. A gap and go looks like this, and then it goes, see ya. I'm never turning back. Great example of this is AT&T, which is going like gangbusters. Gap up, gap up, gap up, gap up. This is like a perfect example right now. There's what a gap and go looks like. Gap up, gap up, gap up, and keep on going. That makes sense? It's not even the example I was going to show you. The example I was going to show you was this one right here, where it gapped up, and then it came back ever so slightly, did not cross under that line, and just rocket shipped. That's what you're looking for gap and crap versus gap and go. Okay. In a downtrending market, do you plan to stay in SGov, or is there a plan for that type of market? That is my plan. That is my plan. But there's nothing to stress over, right? Shorting stocks, you can make money. I will not tell you that you can't make money shorting stocks, but it is way more difficult. Guess when? Just take a guess. Put it in the chat. Guess when the biggest rallies have ever occurred. Do you think it was when the market was just like ripping higher every single day? It would actually be the opposite. It would actually be the opposite. Guess when the biggest market rallies have ever occurred? Here's a great example. In the midst of a downtrend in April of 2025, This candle was an 11% candle. You really think you're going to go against that? You really think that your short's going to work awesome? Because most likely you're going to put it on right here because, you know, that's how it always goes. And then the very next day, you're going to get absolutely destroyed. Yeah, the moment you go short. That's just one example, right? Let's go out to COVID. You'll love this. Watch this in COVID. Look at this. It went down, how much? From the crossover point down to here, 24%. And in one single day, it went up 8%. So it made an entire year's worth of gains in one day. This is why it's really difficult to short, because the volatility expands bigly. Volatility is not just downside. This is upside volatility, right? Volatility has tremendously increased. In fact, we can measure this using the ATR, right? Down here, the volatility was roughly 2. Over here, the volatility was 15. Now, that's fine if you understand that when the volatility is 2 versus volatility at 15, you need to trade 7.5 times less. What? That means if you were trading 15 before, now you got to pay trade with just 2. But that's not how you make big money in the markets. That's how you avoid getting absolutely destroyed, is because the volatility grew like crazy. So you have to position size way smaller. Way smaller. Yeah. Let me see if ChatGPT has the right answer here. Given the biggest one-day moves in the stock market, what was the prevailing price trend during those times? Specifically, I want to know if the price was below its let's just use 20-day EMA. I don't think it can do all the calculations that I want as quickly as we want. Specifically, I want to know if its price was below the 20 EMA at the time. Oh, if it's going to do that. Given the biggest one-day move in the stock market, what was the prevailing price trend during those times? I'm just curious if it's going to read out the way that I want. Great question. This gets to the heart of the convexity and regime behavior. The largest one-day moves in U.S. history, both up and down, very consistent. The biggest one-day moves always occur. Oh, there you go. The biggest one-day moves almost always occur during established downtrends, not during healthy bull markets. Crazy, right? And then you see those jokers on the internet who don't know anything about what they're talking about. They're the ones that tell you to buy the dip. Time in the market beats timing the market. Right? There's no way that you can see the direction of the market. Markets are rational. Markets are efficient. All of that's hot baloney garbage sauce. Okay. Not only that, but they're the ones that'll tell you, listen, if you sit out the 8 best days of the year, you're going to miss 80% of the growth. The 8 best days of the year happen when the market is getting absolutely monkey hammered to death. Yes, it went up 8% on this single one day, but you're already down 24% before that. So if you had just, sidestepped it, then you wouldn't even have worried about that 8% day, because you would know it's in a big, nasty, ugly downtrend. Yeah? If this is making sense, if this is clicking, throw me a thumbs up in the chat. Throw me a thumbs up in the chat. There we go. Okay. Lots of questions today. I really appreciate you guys. All of this is to help make you a better trader here. All right, Dr. Masher. What's the difference between the buy signals on the active or swing? So one thing, great question. One thing is that on all ETFs, in fact, pro tip, you come over here. This will actually pull up all of the sector ETFs. I only found that by accident one day. Mahesh designed it that way. I didn't even know. But all ETFs, the swing and active signals are identical. They do not change. So let's go into one stock in general. I have not pre-looked at this at all whatsoever. And this is not looking great over here, by the way. You go over here to swing signal or active signal. That's how you change. Now, when you change it, it's a global change. Everything changes. Okay. The buy signals on the watch list, your screener results, everything changes when you change that. So the active signals fit inside of swing signals. So think of it this way. If you had a buy signal on your swing then you could have a buy signal on the active. So it's kind of like double confirmation. But you're not going to get a buy signal on the active if you're sitting on a sell signal for the swing. Active is more frequent and shorter duration. Swing signals are less frequent, obviously, and they last for longer, right? Now, what we have found is that the swing signals perform infinitely better than the active signals. But active signals are there for people who want to have a more active portfolio. There you go. That's the question. Mr. Inku, thanks for showing up. Is there awareness around the rare earth that will potential 10x for AI demand? In your opinion, would you agree with this fundamental? I have no monkey donkey idea what you're talking about. And that is the God's honest truth. Now, that probably is like, wait. If you're a professional investor, why don't you know about this? What's there to know about that? We got other things to think about. If whatever that stock is going up, then I'm interested. If that stock is going down, I'm not interested. I give no donkeys, nor monkeys, nor monkey donkeys about the fundamentals, my friend. But then again, if that works for you, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. You do you. How do you delete an item from the watch list? It's super duper easy. Go over the watch list here. And over here, I hate to take off SoFi because it's literally the future of finance, bros. All right, listen, we'll talk about SoFi in just a second. The future of finance. I would rather lose the Dow Jones than SoFi. I mean, let's be realistic here. The Dow Jones, that's all kinds of hot baloney garbage that like nobody cares about in 2026. Nobody cares about the 30, blue chip things are going on in the Dow Jones. Seriously, nobody cares. SoFi, that's where people care. So I won't take off SoFi. I'll only take off the Dow Jones. So the way you do it, it's actually super simple. You just look at it says, do you want to take it off your favorite list? Do you want to add it to your portfolio? What do you want to do here? You just drop it off your favorite list, hit OK, and then it will disappear. I don't actually want to do that, but we'll do one for over here, ASMC. I want to add it to my favorite list, bow, and you'll see ASMC is right there. Now I want to take off ASMC, and then boom, good to go. By the way, anybody been following SoFi lately, the future of finance? One random guy on the internet had been screaming how SoFi was in a stage 4 downtrend for a minute. Oh, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. That totally was a pro tip. Yep, totally was a pro tip. Totally was a pro tip. Thank you, Joe. I got to get better at those. Okay. One random guy on the internet was telling everybody SoFi is in a big, nasty, scary stage 4 downtrend. Just like that same guy was telling you, don't buy right here, running in these order blocks. Receipts are on YouTube. This same guy, this random guy on the internet, was saying, don't buy SoFi as it's dipping because you don't know how far it's going to dip. We are in the midst of a stage 4 downtrend. What's a stage 4 downtrend look like? Yeah, just buy it when it gets to $9, and it's a great deal. Hold on, let me show you the market cycle because some of you don't know what the market cycle is, and it's real. It's happening at this moment in SoFi. Stage 1 is the consolidation. Stage 2 is the big, beautiful run up where everybody feels like a genius. Stage 3 is where the moving averages cross over. Stage 4 is a big, scary, nasty decline that nobody wants to get out of because they have to admit they're wrong. This is real. This is happening as we speak on SoFi. I think it's happening as we speak on other stocks too, right? Not Apple. Hang on, there's some big tech names that are really breaking lately. Amazon may start their stage 4 downtrend right here. PayPal. It's market cycled inside of market cycled. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're looking at it as of right now. Okay. There's probably someone else. Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft is also in the midst of a big nasty stage 4 downtrend. That's what I was looking for. I'm just saying. Tell me it's real, or try and convince me that this isn't real. It's just human greed and fear playing out on the chart. This is history books, right? All this is a history book of what's going on in the market. Okay, when you were in plan M, if you had more than 50,000, how would you have treated that according to your plan? Easy. First, link down below is my actual legitimate this file right here. There is no paywall. Here's how I would have changed what I would do. Ready? I would go over here to my main portfolio and I would change this. Where's it at? To, I don't know, let's just say $250,000. And then I'd go over here to my position sizing dashboard once it loads. And then it would be updated here. And then I would use the exact same risk as I would otherwise. So let's use VRT just as an example. I'm not endorsing this one. I would say, okay, I would pick up 6 options. That's the only thing I would do different. When you have a profitable trading plan, legitimately can be as easy as A, B, C, D. I have the rules. I'm just going to follow the rule. That's it. That's the only thing I do different is I would have a different position size. Nothing else would change. Because why would it? Why would it? While comparing the bid and ask spread before buying an options, what do you look for? Should we consider the price of the stock and what spread is acceptable? So this is something that Cam and I had been working on, which is how Cam basically earned his way into the Charlie class. I don't want to talk about it right now. I want to talk about it in this afternoon's live stream. But Cam and I actually really went through, we spent a couple of weeks going back and forth on some ideas. And I am going to be making some official trading plan changes this afternoon. Now, why? Right? Why? Not just for funsies, but for a few reasons. Number one, Cam had some really great points. He's like, Chris, if our average trade duration is 17 days and we're picking up options that are 21 days to expiration, doesn't that mean the entirety of the theta, the entirety of the extrinsic value is basically going to evaporate on average on the options you buy? And he was right. He was right. This is actually a factor of the trading plan that we didn't cover, right? Which is if my average trading days is X, what is the appropriate option length to buy? And what we came up with, mathematically speaking, was it's not the 21 days. But if you want to learn what that is, come to this afternoon's invitation-only live stream. You get the invitation from our Discord or from your email after you sign up to become an outlier, right? That is our privilege for the outliers. Can you look at the below 3? I missed those. That's okay. I don't know where they went, my friend. As market SPY is going down, is it reasonable to trade an individual sector? Okay, so first, XLU and XLP. XLU is, in fact, let's pull up this real quick. XLU is utilities. XLP is consumer staples. Those are our defensive sectors. When you see staples and utilities being strong, that is a bad sign for the market. That is a bad sign for the market because that is our flight to safety, right? So the issue here, though, is even though they are a flight to safety, that does not mean they go up in value while the price of the stock goes down, price of the market goes down. Let's do this. Let's do a little side by side real quick. Now, granted, I'm sure that we could come up with all kinds of datas to prove this works or doesn't work. But we're just going to eyeball some things real quick. Okay. Right. So here's SPY. And on the right hand side, let's add XLU. Okay. And I think I could even do those on the same chart, but it's all right. So let's go to when SPY was crashing down here early 2025 from like, let's say February to April. If we go to the same time frame here, February to April, what happened to XLU? It went sideways. So it definitely outperformed. You can actually see my cursor go between the two. It outperformed the market because it went sideways, but it did not like offset the market. Does that make sense? So by all means, if you have an edge that you have mathematically proven works, go for it. But just a nutshell here, it doesn't mean you can hide there. Okay, we're talking about VRT again. I think this is a great question going back to the gap and craps. The wick went below VRT. The wick went below. And that's fine. I only care about the closing price. And that's just me. You, Meg, might want to put that as your potential rule right there. But for me, I'm only looking at the closing price. And we got literally the entire day to find out where that's going to be. We don't know if it's going to come down here and then go up higher, right? If you want that to be your exit point, by all means. I'm looking at the closing price. All right, let's keep going. How do you get the order block indicators in TradingView? Can be done in other platforms. Great question. Okay, So all of my charts can be set up let me rephrase that. All of your charts can be set up exactly the same as my charts for free. A, you need a free TradingView plan, which is super simple. B, in our Discord, go to the FAQ and member contribution section. I have a Stream Deck button for this exactly, so that's why I like to push it. Go to the FAQ and member contribution section. In TradingView, you can see right here, the official deep thought indicator is the exact indicator that I'm using right here for the order blocks. The exact one. Okay. Now, I like to have my EMAs where I can turn them on and off, but you can actually enable the EMAs using the deep thought indicator as well. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So all of that is included 100% for free for OVTLYR members. Then we actually have this as well on Thinkorswim. So you come down here to the Thinkorswim tab. All the code you're going to need in Thinkorswim is there as well. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. So that's where you get it, and it's super duper easy to implement that. Great question. Okay. How do you narrow the search results from the screener? I want to see buy stocks. I would like to see a stock when all 9 categories are green. So great question here, Michael. Good to see you, my friend. In OVTLYR, one thing that Mahesh has told me, so Mahesh is our CEO, the screener update is the next update that's coming out. One of the updates we're going to have is, in fact, let's go to, hang on, I want to go to a stock, any stock, it doesn't matter. Just give me a stock. One of the things that is going to be upgraded in the screener is you're going to be able to toggle every single one of the 9. Every single OVTLYR 9 is going to be a choice over here, or a one-click, give me all 9, which is going to be really cool, right? So that is coming. We usually do updates every other week, so it's really soon. I can't tell you the exact date, but I know specifically this is the next upgrade that's coming soon. But if you're asking how to filter just for buy signals, super duper easy. You're going to filter however you want to. Just come up here to buy versus no selection will show you buys and sells, or just buys. Super duper easy. Let's see. Do you limit the number of options you buy on the position sizing chart? Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you can't just buy 100 of everything, right? This is going to be difficult because there's a lot of stocks that are trending down right now, but the two that I like to use is Coke and Pepsi. Coke, hang on. How did that not work? Okay, there we go. Coke and not Coke and Pepsi, Coke and Tesla. Coke is a staple stock, so I can see why that's moving up. How about VRT? Let's use VRT. I know that one's trending up. So in this account right now, roughly $50,000. I could, and of course, this is our OVTLYR fund. This is exact exact fund that I'm trading in the U.S. Investing Championship. Okay. Now you need to assign the risk per trade. I'm going to leave it here at 6% because that's my risk. Don't even think about trading 6%. Between these two, right? If I took 6% of risk on Coke, I could take a share size of 1,077 shares. On VRT, I could only take a share size of 108. Well, how much risk are you actually taking here, Chris? Check this out. So you do equals current price minus 2 times the ATR. So risk per share. This, I may have done this wrong. 76.13. Yeah, I did that wrong. So you take your risk per share. Yeah, my bad. We do your risk per share, which is 2 times the ATR value times the number of shares. So $3,058 of risk, which is exactly this number right here, max account risk per trade. I wonder if I'm taking $3,000 of risk on Coke, what that risk would look like in VRT. Well, let's do the math. Equals risk per share times number of shares. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. Exactly down to the penny the same. Does not mean you will get out here, because sometimes you can gap through it and it sucks. It's part of the game. But this is where we're setting our risk at to start. This is 13. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. This divided by 80. So if we're using the 80 delta, 1,077 divided by 80 gets you 13 options. 108 divided by 80 gets you 1 contract. So I'm taking $28 of risk versus $2.80 of risk. Okay. Now here's the other thing too. if I wanted to take that amount of risk in Coca-Cola, that'd be 166% of my portfolio. I mean, I could do that on margin, but that's literally my entire portfolio plus 66% on margin. That's a lot. How about we go to the Coke options chain? Let's go here, Coke. And let's go to the March, and let's go for like the 80 delta where there's all that open interest. And let's say that we spent $7.30. Okay, 730. That would actually be 18% of our portfolio. Only 18% of the portfolio to put on a position size that's equivalent to 166% of our portfolio. Probably a number called like leverage factor around here somewhere. Anyways, let's go back to price per contract on VRT. Let's go back to the price per contract on VRT. Okay, VRT. Let's also go to March, and let's also go to roughly the 80 delta. This is 4240. That's only 8% of our portfolio. Crazy, right? It's not 50% of our portfolio. It's only 8. Because this is such a more volatile stock, you can trade or you must trade a way smaller size. Because this is a way more chill stock, literally 10 times less volatility going on here. You can trade a significantly larger position. And, I mean, a larger position overall in your portfolio. So, pretty cool, right? I hope that was useful. I may have got completely off. But I hope that was useful. Jonathan says, as an outlier member, where can I go on Discord to get the tracker sheets explained? I don't know if I have a video for the tracker sheet being explained. Joe can help you with that. Joe is our educator extraordinaire. Okay. Sheetal's also competing in the U.S. Investing Championship. Say the delta used is at the money of 50. Yes, you're right. Will the ATR times 2 still apply? Well, so that's my trading plan. And the ATR will be, the ATR is the ATR. It doesn't matter at all on the option chain that you're choosing because the ATR is based on the stock itself. But what you could do is inside of this position sheet, right? You could change this to like a 50 delta. And that would give you more contracts for sure. It would. For sure. But that's not how I trade, my friend. But again, like I always say, come up with your own plans, run those plans. Wait a minute. Rick had a question. Rick, do you think we should get the shirt in long sleeve? You know, we don't have that shirt in long sleeve. It's only available, the Outlier All overprint, in short sleeve. I mean, if you wanted long sleeve, we do have the hoodie option, which is actually really cool. Check this out. I love these patterns. I was super, super proud of Rudes when she put these patterns together. And the Ninja Roller shirts are the next ones that are coming soon. So, I mean, look, where I live and where Rick lives, very different climates. So this is the kind of shirt that I wear pretty much all the time. Or this kind of shirt is a really nice shirt to wear all the time. But I get what you're saying, Rick. Maybe throw a little hoodie on, my friend. Are you going to add them to the bingo giveaway? Well, what I was actually going to do was this afternoon, because they're brand new today. When we do the giveaways, we just give away this stuff. That was my plan. Friday afternoon are where we give away all the cool stuff. So I thought we'd do that today. How's that sound? Do you ever look at the 200-day moving average to see if we're above or below? I don't, but you could, right? I don't, but you could. Now, we back tested this and I don't have it anymore. Let me add it. Indicators, simple. There's simple moving average for 200. Okay. A lot of people use it. And I'm not saying you're wrong for using it. All right. Let's make this green, and I like it super thick. No, I'm saying. And then let's change it to the 200 period. All right. That is a 200 period EMA right there. Right. Can you use it? By all means. But obviously the 10, 20, 50 are a lot more responsive than the 200. A lot more responsive. Significantly more responsive. But, you could look at something like terrible stocks like PayPal, right? The 10, 20, 50, if let's say you wanted to go short, The 10, 20, 50 crosses over significantly earlier than it crosses under the 200. And let's say you want to go long. The 10, 20, 50, in this case, is roughly the same point as the 200. But let's say you want to go long. You could go long inside of downtrends with the 200 as long as the 10, 20, 50 is pushing up, right? Now, for example, this is not the perfect buy signal. I'm just saying. But here's a decent example, right? You could have made a decent amount of money right here while it's inside of a 200-day moving average downtrend. So it's not for me, and that's okay. It could be for you. And I appreciate the question, my friends. Let's keep going. I use the free TradingView version. I've been considering the upgrade. Do you feel it's worth the extra cost? My cost is covered by OVTLYR, so I don't have skin in the game in that regard. But if you use the deep thought indicator, which has all the moving averages and all the order blocks, and actually a lot of extra cool stuff too, that is, you get two indicator slots on TradingView for free. That'll fill up one of them, and it's super easy to use. The other one you could use for ATRs, or you could use for the value zone. You don't need them all the time, so you can just turn them on and off, and that could actually work great. So it's really up to you. If you find that you continuously run out and TradingView pulls up things like you got to upgrade like all the time, it may be worth it to you. But if that's not happening, then maybe not. Dr. J is celebrating an anniversary today. It's been 1 year of OVTLYR for me. There is no question. Just a thank you to Mark and Mahesh and me for creating this legendary platform to give us the ability to become our best selves. I love that. Thank you, Dr. J. That's super sweet of you. Just yesterday, I was thinking to myself, I was like, we've done a very poor job of identifying what OVTLYR is. And Shane the plumber, one of our OVTLYR teammates, he was trying to explain this to somebody, and he's like, I don't really know how to tell what OVTLYR is. I mean, it does this and it does that, but what is OVTLYR? So I was walking the neighborhood, prompting ChatGPT, trying to get some ideas, some juices flowing for like, what is OVTLYR? And I came up with a term that Mark and Mahesh both really liked, and it really absolutely fits what OVTLYR is: a trading intelligence platform. Not an intelligent trading platform, because we went back and forth on this, but a trading intelligence platform. And I was like, dude, this sounds so cool. It's like a CIA thing, right? It's a trading intelligence platform, right? It will give you the buy and sell signals. It'll show you the fear and greed. It'll show you basically everything you need to know to make those decisions as a trading intelligence platform. And then, I've got to indoctrinate you guys to make sure that when you talk about OVTLYR, you say trading intelligence platform. That's what it is. And people are like, wow, trading intelligence platform. Yeah. The trading intelligence platform is a what? Pro tip. I didn't even see that coming. I did. There you go. That's the perfect name for it. That is the perfect name for it. Trading intelligence platform. How you like that? Just the OVTLYR tip. Yeah, there you go. I like that too, my friend. Merch coming. The trading intelligence platform, OVTLYR. Isn't that cool though? It sounds really cool. It sounds really secretive. Like, whoa, we got access to the trading intelligence platform, right? It seems like something the CIA would use. And if you think about it, kind of does look like something the CIA would use, right? I see new swag coming. That's right. I got a tip for you. Hey, Carol Catherine. Yeah, very, very cool. Caveman merch. Stock go up, I buy. Yeah, caveman merch. That's what I need. I need intelligence. All right, we got time for a few more questions. Let's see how many we can get through here. I'm gonna speed run these. And there's Rick, another OVTLYR University Bravo graduate. Everybody give Rick a little golf clap. He definitely deserves it. Graduate of OVTLYR University as of today. Do you think that XLF weakness might be a warning of a 2022 style pullback? I don't know. Speed run. Question is, answer is, I don't know. So you do have that sell signal, right? And it's been trending down for a hot minute over here. The XLF, so the sector ETF itself has been getting more fearful. Everybody inside the sector had been getting more greedy. However, that's also turned around. You can see up here of the OVTLYR 9, you've got some room up to an OVTLYR block, and then you have market breadth. But overall, the sector looks pretty terrible. Now, I don't know, and Rick, you know that I don't know. I don't know if the contagion will go all over the place, but I do want to look at one thing. Let's look at the S&P 500 map. I like this. Let's go to like year to date. Where's year to date? Month to date, year to date. I mean, there are definitely some sectors that are still like gangbusters, right? Like the utility sector, really strong. Energy sector, specifically, since you were asking, Rick. I mean, ExxonMobil, that's up 25% for the year so far. Chevron up 20% for the year so far. So that's my answer. I don't know. When do you start consistently making money in the markets? What was the big change? Oh, dude, the big change was stop selling options. God, they were basically dynamite in my hands. I couldn't do anything but lose money, and and nothing frustrated me more, which is why I stuck with it for so long. I literally lost over $200,000 doing that. By the way, honest to God, lost over $200,000 selling options because I was told that this is the easiest way possible. You get a high win rate, you make money if the stock goes up, down, or sideways, and it's just going to be super simple, right? Apparently, I was the one person with the itty bitty baby brain that couldn't do it successfully, and I lost so much money. And you know what changed that was actually working with people who actually made money in the markets and not listening to YouTube channels. I'm not going to name them, but you know who they are, who wanted to throw all this theory at you that the markets were efficient, which we all know they're not. All this theory at you that, and the day I stopped watching them was the day when they said, we're going to conclusively prove that trends aren't real. I was like, what? How can you say that? Have you ever seen a stock chart? Trends don't exist. That's the day I was like, okay, these people have absolutely jumped the shark because it doesn't fit their perfect little model of the efficient market theory. That's when I stopped losing money. And when I started making money was working with people who have actually made money in the markets, like Steve Burns, probably the most important mentor I ever had. Worked with 5 different market wizards, and one of them will be here next week. Next week, Mark Minervini will be here. He is one of the greatest traders possibly of all time. And there's a question about this earlier. One of the greatest traders of all time, personal friend of mine. And I am so stoked to have Mark here to teach you as much as he possibly is willing to teach. And if you actually go to my YouTube channel, you'll see me and Mark have multiple interviews together. Let me go here real quick. You'll see me and Mark on the Market Wizards playlist. There's me and Jason Shapiro, Tom Basso, Jack Schwager, Larry Haight, more Mark Minervini. I'm missing somebody here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, that's all 5. Okay. So how did Mark and I meet? It was actually through Steve Burns. So Steve Burns, the way that I got to meet with him was, just really nice guy. I was asking him for help on all kinds of different things on Twitter, and we finally made the real life connection, and then networking basically is how we got there. But yeah, Mark will be here next week, and he'll actually be here on my 40th birthday, which is such a amazing thing. I'm so stoked about it. I just emailed him yesterday the guest link that he'll need. Okay. Should I sell Roku? Holding at 104, up pre-market 18%. Very cool. Here's the deal. I can't tell you to do that. First off, I'm not your financial advisor. I am just a random guy on the internet. Second, whatever I say will be wrong, right? Because if I say sell it, it's going to go up. If I say hold it, it's going to go down. I can't win either way, so I'm not going to try and give it to you. Can I request to be a new student in the class? You can request it, but to tell you the truth, I don't know how we're going to select those students just yet. The alpha class was selected randomly, which couldn't have asked for a better group. The Bravo class was actually selected by the alpha class. And so right now I couldn't tell you what our selection process is going to be. Are you sending emails? Are those fake? I don't know what this is in reference to, Brian, but I'll put it this way. OVTLYR does send a daily email. April actually types those out for you, in case you're ever wondering. April puts those together. Then if you've ever received a DM from me on any platform, it's not me. I don't DM anybody. I'm telling you right now, if you've ever received any DM, any friend request, whatever, it ain't me. That is how we figured out the best way to make sure nobody gets scammed, hopefully, is by saying, I don't ever send DMs, so you know it ain't me. Short side strategy update in the future. All right, let's speed run these. I said I would speed run these, and I'm just being like super slow. When are you going to spill the beans with Cam? This afternoon. Be sure to come to that. Do you limit the number of options on the position size chart? I think I mentioned that earlier. Where's the shirt with the 3/4, 1 nickel, and 2 pennies on it? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get the joke. Is that 82 cents? Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. We need an 82 cents a day shirt. That's a really good one. You're so much smarter than me. It took me a minute to even understand it. I love it. The DT indicator by default has 4 EMAs. Since we only care about the 10, 20, 50, what should we do? Get rid of the 4th one? Yeah. You don't have to enable it. It's actually really easy to enable or disable. And, you know, it's one of those things there for convenience. You can enable or disable. It's up to you. What will the percentage of people who subscribe to OVTLYR for 1 year that renew? It's got to be high. I hope so. I hope it's really high. I really hope so. I mean, honestly, with OVTLYR being 82 cents a day, you're getting 7.5 months for free. You're getting access to the trading intelligence platform that gives you all the buy and sell signals, all the fear and greed, and you get access to the Discord, and you get access to the live trading room that's being done in the U.S. Investing Championship, right? There's so much that goes with OVTLYR, more than just the trading intelligence platform on its own. Lex didn't unlock the selling option strategies. I mean, he talked about it, but one thing, and if you go back to that conversation I had with Lex, I actually asked that question. I was like, do retail traders have any business trying to sell options? Because if you really want to think about it, right, the concept of retail traders selling options was pioneered by market makers. Market makers sell options to people who want to buy them. That is their job. So former market makers like what's his name, Tom Sosnoff, who also, you can go to my YouTube channel. I've talked to Tom Sosnoff many times. Can't say it was a profitable conversation, but the idea of selling options makes sense if you can absorb thousands and thousands of option contracts all over the place. And Lex even talked about that. The idea of selling options as a one-off does not make sense. Think of it this way, right? If you were trying to be a casino, and I mean, think about it this way. Seriously, think about it this way. If you were trying to be a casino and you could only take 1 or 2 bets at a time, and somebody like Chris Chains came in and bet $16 million that the Hawks would win the Super Bowl, and they did, you're royally screwed to death because you could only take a couple bets. That one bet paid off. You're absolutely cooked. Same as selling options. But if you're like a casino and you take millions of bets in, tens of thousands every minute coming through, can you handle one loser? Yeah, of course. That's how the game is played, because you're making money on the 9,999 else. I think that is exactly how selling options needs to be treated. If you can absorb 1,000 contracts all across the market, sure, sell the mess out of them. If you can't absorb 1,000 contracts all across the market to offset your risk, don't even think about it. I don't know. Stocky Lucky. I'm not allowed to sell options. Chris made me promise. I even made him raise his right hand and repeat after me. I will not sell options. Art says he will be extending his subscription. Awesome. Thanks, dude. I'm super glad to hear that. I hope it was worth 82 cents a day. Susan, the best thing you can do, support at OVTLYR.com. Send us an email. Cheryl and April woman that. I was going to say man that, but they woman that like almost 24 hours a day. So they will absolutely be there to help you out. Paul says, hey, I just started paper trading. My options platform doesn't have extrinsic value, but it has theta. Is this similar as... So extrinsic value encompasses not just theta. So there's 2 components to an options price. There's intrinsic and extrinsic, right? Only 2 components. Intrinsic is the calculation between the current price, which is 233.02 in this, 233.02 minus the strike price, 195. Extrinsic value is that and will always be that, but you can't buy it for that. The market makers will price it at whatever that price is. Everything else flows into extrinsic value. Everything else flows into extrinsic value. Okay. And that's going to include your theta, your vega, your rho. But in reality, it's mostly theta. However, it will expand sometimes to include your vega, which is your volatility. My S-Gov returns to pay for my outlier today. Outstanding. Thoughts on selling covered calls for a little extra money as a strategy to sell 100 remaining shares of real stock? Well, Kasha, as an Outlier University graduate, if you plan to hold a stock forever, which remember, all stocks are bad, every once in a while they act right, but if you plan to hold it forever, then, I mean, you can sell those covered calls. I mean, you will be offsetting the amount that you paid for it. Let's say if you paid $100 a share for it, and then you sell it for, you sell every month a $1 option. After 100 months, in theory, your stock is 100% for free. That makes sense. However, if the stock goes up past your strike price, you no longer own the stock. So you're really kneecapping the growth there. Okay. Susan, that is the one and only way that we have help. And I don't know why you wouldn't have gotten a return back from them. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna text April at this very moment. I'm gonna say, can you look for Susan's email? She has asked twice for help. Hold tight. Just for you, Susan. Can you please look for an email from Susan? She needs help from the support emails. I already have. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, let's do a couple more. Why not? Above and beyond, Chris. Thanks, Mike. And do check your spam email. I mean, things like that happen. B. Taylor says that he had a problem and the support team helped him work through it. Outstanding. Yeah, they are great. They're amazing. I'm already late. I can't believe I'm already late. We recently seen sell signals follow the day after buy signals. What's that telling you? It's telling you that the market is choppy. Is it not? Is it not? Are you not entertained by the choppiness of this market? Going all the way back to what we talked about earlier on, right? There are times where you're playing your game, if it's stock trading, if it's Mario, if it's football, or if it's whatever, right? And some levels are just easy as pie, easy, effortless, and it just makes so much sense. And you're thinking to yourself, man, I can't believe it's so easy. Then there are times where it's a bit of a struggle, right? And then there are times where it's just really, really hard. When the market increases in volatility, yet goes sideways, that is a really, really hard market to trade. And all you have to do is follow your plan. And sometimes that means getting out the day after you get in because you don't want to have any more risk than you have to. I hope that was useful. Thank you guys so much for coming. Be sure if you are looking to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, you click one of these two videos and have a fantastic day. I just noticed there's a book right there. Okay, that was driving me crazy. Trading plan for the day: sit in cash and don't F up. Sit in cash and don't F up. Right. We have a sell signal on the SPY, which means plan in, plan ETF are both off the table. Thankfully, this order block was out in front of us, so we didn't take a trade. And as well as SPY, the fear and greed had been going down. We don't have a lifetime subscription available, but I would encourage you to pick up that annual pass for just $2.99 or 82 cents a day. And I love the idea of having like 3 quarters, a nickel, and 2 pennies as a merch op. An idea that's fun. Actually, whoever said that, would you mind dropping it in the merch channel on Discord? Because I know I'll forget. I think it's great. All stocks are bad, and currently they're acting terrible. Yeah, exactly. All stocks are bad, and right now they are acting really bad. They need to go sit in a corner and have a timeout. This fear and greed really helped us big time. Really helped us big time, which is what it's for, right? It doesn't mean it's perfect. Nothing is perfect. But with a trading intelligence platform like this, it shows you when it's time to get in and when things are effortless, and also times when it's not time to trade. Now it's one of those times where sitting in cash, collecting that interest it's good. All stocks are bad merch. This is great. In fact, let's go over the merch channel. Let's just throw some ideas in there because I love this. I love this. So Frank has a great idea. A lifetime membership would be a cool giveaway in bingos. It would be. So Frank will be paying for, that's what we're going to do. All right. We're going to put that on the bingo wheel. And anytime it lands on lifetime membership, I'll just bill Frank for, I guess, $299 times 20 years. Hang on, Frank. Let's see how many. $299 times 20. Okay. Frank, anytime it lands on there, I'm going to send you a bill for $5,980. All right, dude. I think that's fair, right? Thank you, Frank. What a great idea, Frank. That was super sweet of you, Frank. Okay. Merch ideas. 82 cents a day. I love that idea. 82 cents a day. So 3/4, 1 nickel, and 2 pennies. Then y'all had another one that was really good. Man, Frank is the man. Thank y'all for playing along with that. That was fun. Where's it at? All stocks are bad merch. All stocks are bad merch. 82 cents a day. Merch. There was another one that we said earlier on, which is a good idea. Help me remember what that was. Oh, it wasn't a tip, like pro tip merch. Hang on, TIP, trading intelligence platform. Another reason why I wanted to make sure that we defined what OVTLYR is, marketing hat here. As chief marketing officer, one of the things I do is I read a lot of marketing books. I take a lot of marketing courses. I watch a lot of marketing YouTube videos. And one thing that had been bothering me for a long time is, what is our unique selling proposition, right? What is our USP? How can we be different? How can we be a category of one? And my example, and we use the software ClickFunnels, and maybe you have or haven't heard of it, but ClickFunnels is a software I've used for years and years and years. And it is a website builder. Right? It is a website builder at the core of it. But it's not marketed as a website builder. It's marketed as a sales funnel builder. So if you are a business trying to sell to customers, OVTLYR, a business trying to sell to customers for 82 cents a day, then this will allow you to build a website pretty easily. And actually, it was really cool. We go in there and make modifications all the time because it really does work that great. But they don't sell it as a website builder. They sell it as a sales funnel builder. So if you want to sell something, ClickFunnels is where you go. So we've really been struggling with this what is OVTLYR definition for a while. And I didn't want to call it a stock and analytics platform because I feel like that's something people have talked about, right? Stock analytics platform. What about like, and again, you know, I was walking the neighborhood prompting ChatGPT for some ideas. When it came up with trading intelligence platform, I was like, I've never heard of a trading intelligence. How many trading intelligence platforms have you heard of? And not only that, it sounds like something the CIA and the FBI use as well. That sounds pretty cool, right? So I was like, huh, trading intelligence platform sounds pretty dang cool. And it would be a category of one because nobody else is has a trading intelligence platform. Boom, perfect. No monkey donkeys. A hoodie with a chain. Ooh, I like that. Chris Chains merch. That's a fun idea too. I like that. The Ninja rollers are coming soon. Gold lids, gold grills, Chris Chains merch. Yeah. Right. I think we're good. Copyright trading intelligence platform. That's actually a good idea. That's actually a really good idea. Before somebody steals it from us. Okay. That's the plan for the day. I have a million things to do today, and my kids are home from school. Why are they not in school? They need to be at school. Give me a freaking break here. Oh, Monday is a holiday, by the way. President's Day. So you ain't gonna find me or anybody else. Okay, you guys have a fantastic day. I will see you this afternoon. What song do we want to play out of here? Oh, Whipsaw. Yeah, because that's what's going on in the market, right?
You get a whip and I get a saw, honey. You get a whip and I get a saw, babe. You get a whip and I get a saw. One good trend pays for them all. Honey, trader, babe, be mine. Now what do we do when we catch a trend, honey? Hey! What do we do when we catch a trend, babe? Whoa! What do we do when we catch a trend? Ride that trend right to the end. Woo! Honey, trader, babe, be mine. Well, what do we do when we show a loss, honey? Hey! What do we do when we show a loss, babe? What do we do when we show a loss? We kick that daggone loss to toss. Honey trader, babe, be mine. So you get a whip and I get a saw, honey. You get a whip and I get a saw, babe. You get a whip and I get a saw. One good trend pays for them all. Honey trader, babe, be mine. Well, how do we know when the risk is right, honey? How do we know when the risk is right, babe? How do we know when the risk is right? When we make a lot of money and we sleep at night. Honey trader, babe, be mine. Well, what do we do when the price breaks through, honey? What do we do when the price breaks through, babe? What do we do when the price breaks through? Hold our stops or and there's nothing to do. Honey trader, babe, be mine. They flash the cars, they promise the gold. They hide the fiddles while the stories get sold. Screenshots crop, no losses shown. Pay up front just to be shown the code. Show me the trade, show me the scar. If it really works, why guard it so hard? No secret rooms, no velvet lines. We learn in public, one chart at a time. You get a whip and I get a saw, honey. You get a whip and I get a saw, babe. You get a whip and I get a saw. One good trend pays for them all. Honey trader, babe, be mine. What do you do when the drawdown comes, honey? What do you do when it gets real big, babe? What do you do when it's even bigger? We stick to the plan and pull the trigger. Honey trader, baby. Now what do we do with a hot news flash, honey? Nah. What do we do with a hot news flash, babe? Oh. What do we do with a hot news flash? We stash that flash right in the trash. Honey trader, baby, mine. You get a whip and I get a saw, honey. You get a whip and I get a saw, babe. You get a whip and I get a saw. One good trend pays for them all. Honey trader, babe, be mine.